consideration of approving a recommendation from the EDA's special meeting of October 25, 2010 regarding setting a public hearing to consider an amendment to Rushford's business subsidy criteria to increase the maximum business subsidy allowance. Proposed date for public hearing will be November 22nd, 2010. And Joyce will have some comment on this.
I'll refer to the one-page recommendations to the Rushford City Council. This motion would be subject to an additional meeting of the EDA Council Committee. That's planned for this week, Thursday, and then the Rushford EDA meeting next Monday, November 1st. Their motion was made by Mr. Robertson and seconded by Mr. Gaddis today to recommend that the Rushford City Council authorize public hearings on Monday, November 22nd, 2010, to consider amending the Rushford business subsidy criteria and revolving loan fund guidelines to allow a business subsidy of up to, and that's usually how the language in a public hearing announcement is made. The amount discussed was between 300 and 500, and the EDA Council Committee is expected to address that and recommend what they feel is reasonable. And if that maximum is increased, then the second public hearing would be to consider a request by G-Force Inc. for an additional $150,000 business subsidy loan. And that again, the language could be up to that amount. Any loan over $75,000 is considered a business subsidy. A public hearing is required for $150,000 or more. And the purpose of the additional funds is to complete development of the School Spirit Mall and designer software with outside expertise. Initially they thought they could do it in-house and found that didn't quite work. They didn't quite have the skills to get that accomplished. And that will then more efficiently and effectively launch more School Spirit Mall and Designer Mall websites. They currently have sites set up for Apple Valley and Western Technical College. And there are, as I understand it, daily, weekly orders that are coming in through those sites. And the Apple Valley site took like 3 months to get set up. With the perfected software, it's going to happen a lot more quickly, within days, as I understand it. And then also to enable sales of the designer software to businesses for which G-Force Inc. will provide the manufacturing support, i.e. the finished product, and that would support the jobs here in Rushford as well. This request was preliminarily discussed by the EDA Council Subcommittee on October 18th, and that resulted in a request for some more information. We have gotten most of that information. There were a few questions again at the EDA meeting this morning, but the proper procedure is to let the EDA Council Subcommittee make the recommendation to the Council, or to the EDA, and then to the Council. So that's happening this Thursday and Monday if both bodies do make that recommendation. And this recommendation is being brought to the Council at this time because we're looking at a deadline for the sites to be up and or the software to be finished by the beginning of December, so that they can still benefit from the Christmas season. And if we didn't come to you tonight, there would be another 2-week delay, and that would put them behind that opportunity.
Yeah, but the public hearing isn't going to be till November 22nd.
Correct.
Anyway.
Right. But if we didn't request the authorization tonight, then that public hearing couldn't be held until the middle of December. So this subcommittee meeting this week and the EDA meeting on Monday will still be ahead of the date that the notice has to go to the paper. So if either one of those bodies decides that this is not a good idea, then the notice doesn't go forward. Does that make sense?
Any more comment?
finishing the subsidy, right? Nobody's been given any money or promised any money, there's still a bunch of questions to be answered before anything's approved.
So what we need is a motion to
Hold the public hearing.
authorize these two different public hearings, subject to the recommendation of the subcommittee, because if they decide it should not go forward, then we can cancel and not hold the hearing at all. But this is the last time we have the opportunity for you guys to give the motion to have a hearing, so we get it all done in a timely manner.
I'll move it.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Robertson, second by Mr. Dahl. Any comment?
Do you want that to be, do you wanna do each one separately? Or both? Both public hearings will be held on the same date, but it'll be two different, things that you're gonna be discussing. I think they should do this separately.
Actually, two hearings.
Yeah, it's two different hearings, yeah. So this one will be to authorize a public hearing,
Yeah, we're just talking
For the
about one.
amendment.
for the amendment of the business subsidy.
Yeah. We're just talking about the business subsidy right now. We can get to the next one after
Yep.
that. Any more comment on the business subsidy? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Let's move on to the next one, 8E, consideration of approving a recommendation from the EDA special meeting of October 25, 2010 regarding setting a public hearing to consider a loan request by GeForce Inc. Printing. Such loan request would also be predicated upon the passage of the above business subsidy criteria amendment. Proposed date for public hearing would be November 22nd, 2010. And there was a presentation about GeForce this morning.
There was, yes.
And how did that go?
There were still some questions,
Mhm.
and they will come to the committee meeting on Thursday.
Subcommittee Thursday we talked?
Correct.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bunky, second by Mr. Hansi. Any comment? Anything else, Joyce?
I want to call your attention to the Seven Rivers Regional.
We haven't.
I'm sorry.
What if you had any more comment on this?
Okay, no, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.